A specialized case of the counting variable is the streak counter, where instead of just counting points, we will count how many points we get before something happens. For instance, in this game, I'm thinking I want to get a point every time I click the green ball, and then the ball should disappear and repeat over. And the more times I can click it before it reaches the bottom, the longer my streak. So to build this, I first need to be able to actually click the ball. So I have my function here, my click ball, and that should do all the usual stuff with pausing the container, adding a disappear animation, and calling another function when that is done. So let's pause the container. And once that is done, add an animation on the sprite. And when that is done running, we want to call the function, the restart function. And I'm just going to add it on the container here, add event listener, animation end, restart ball. And I need to create that function. Yes, it's not here. Always console log. So you can see if it works. And then the first thing is I'm going to turn off my event listener inside this function. Always remove the event listener that brought you into the function. And then I'm going to unpause it. Unpause the container. And I'm also going to undisappear the sprite. I think I'll do the sprite first. I don't know if it matters. Everything should happen within one frame anyway. And then just for good sake, I want to restart the falling animation. So remove falling and add it again. And in between, I'm going to call an offset height. So this should work. I click it and it disappears. And then it takes a long time before it reappears and restarts. I want to make it a bit quicker. So in my CSS, where the falling animation, no, the disappear animation, I want that to, yes, I do not want it to pause for that long. I just want it to disappear immediately and only for 1 second. So disappears and starts over, disappears and starts over, disappears. Excellent. So this works. I get points. And now I want to count my streak, how long my streak is. And to begin with, let streak be 0. There will be no streak at all. And then I'm going to increase every time I add a point. I also add to my streak. Console log streak is streak. So this would just make streak follow the points. You have 3 points. Because I should really start with 0 points. This is a bit weird that I can have. You have 1 point and streak is 1. 2 points, streak is 2. 3 points, streak is 3. But then if I reach the bottom, streak is 4. But it shouldn't be. So that means that when I reach the bottom here, then it should reset streak simply by setting streak to 0. So this would give me streak is 2, streak is 3, and now I reach the bottom twice now, and then I have a streak of 1 again. So this means that every time I click it, I increase my streak, but the moment it has reached the bottom, then it resets my streak and I have to start over. So this is how you make a streak counter, by incrementing it when the good thing happens and then resetting it to 0 when a bad thing happens. You might also want to keep track of the longest streak, so that would be yet another variable. Let longest streak, that would be 0 from the beginning, and then every time we increment our streak, we have to check, is this longer than the longest? And if it is, then this would be the longest. So if our new streak here is greater than the longest streak, then the longest streak would be our current streak. That is now the winner. And we'll console log longest streak so far. And this should give us the longest streak of 1 and the longest streak of 2, 3, and now my longest streak is 3. And I have reset. So my streak is 1. And it's 2. And it's 3. And I can see my longest streak is still 3. But let's see if we can beat that. And 3 and 4. So now I have the longest streak of 4, and now the longest streak is 5. And the longest streak is still, it's 6 now. Actually, even I have a new streak. That is 2, and I just about reset. But the longest streak is still 6, and I haven't beaten that yet. So this is one way to keep track of, have I beaten my last record by checking, is the current number greater than the last one? And if it is, then I set the last one to the current one. So this is basically how you would handle streaks.